Is your marriage on the rocks? Are you doing everything you can to save your marriage, but it seems like you're the only one trying to? Do you feel your wife is pushing your marriage closer and closer to divorce? I know how it feels. It's frustrating as hell, and you can't help but feel like a loser. You work so hard for so many years, but your wife doesn't even try. You give and give, but your wife takes and takes. You're wondering if you should just cut your losses and give up. But at the same time, you have this burning desire in you. I'm going to do whatever it takes to save this marriage. If that's how you feel, then here's some good news. It's entirely possible to save your marriage, even if you're the only one trying to. In fact, as this video will show you, it's even better if you're the only one trying. You'll discover how to save your marriage by yourself and forge that happily ever after, even when your spouse doesn't want to. But before that, there's something I want you to do for me. Could you help me out by clicking like? That will really mean a lot to me. Go on and click like now because I'll wait here. Clicked like? Great. Let's continue. Okay, here's the deal. Whenever any man comes to me for help with his failing marriage, I always give him the same advice. Follow the VCRD model. What's the VCRD model? VCRD stands for the 4 steps to saving a failing marriage. 1. Validation. 2. Confirmation. 3. Restoration. 4. Dependence. Here's how the VCRD model works. Step number 1 is validation. In the validation stage, you make your wife feel like you've accepted the reality that your marriage is over. You either 1. Tell your wife you agree that parting ways is the best course of action, or 2. You initiate the breakup yourself. Why would you intentionally end a marriage when you're trying to save it? Answer: because you need to be covert, hidden, unreadable. When you obviously try to make the marriage work, you actually give your wife more power. You're showing you're working to win her approval, and she can control you by not giving you what you want. But when you suddenly give up and part ways with her, she loses that power. Now she can't control you. And when you've done that, you're ready for the next step. Step number 2 is confirmation. Here's a fact. 80% of all breakups mend themselves within a month. That's because when a woman wants out of her relationship, she only looks forward to the positives of it, the freedom, the stress relief, the fun, etc. But they don't expect the negatives. They start missing their partner's affection. They start missing their partner's provision. They start missing their old comfort zone within their past relationships. So after you break up with her, she'll eventually come back to you. She might go all in and ask you to come back, or be coy about it and just check on you. In either case, you don't get her back. Instead, you confirm to her that your original decision to part ways is final. You can express this to her in several ways. You're happier now. Your life is more meaningful now. You don't want to waste any more time with her. You're excited about being single again. You're already seeing someone new. It's all part of the plan. You don't want her to come back to you the easy way. You want her to fight for you. Make sense? Okay, once you've done that, then move on to stage 3. Stage number 3 is restoration. Once you've crushed all hope for her to get you back, then you've successfully hit the reset button on your marriage. Now, a few days after the confirmation stage, you can reach out to her again. This time, you're starting your relationship from scratch. It's like you're dating for the very first time again. But your job's not done yet. It's then time to escalate to the 4th and final stage. Stage number 4 is dependence. Here, you complete the process by making her believe leaving you was the worst mistake she ever made. You do this by implanting false memories in her mind. Here's a simple way of doing it. 1. Talk about an experience you shared in the past, good or bad. 2. The more details she can remember about the experience, the better, e.g., people you were with, things you did, the weather, etc. 3. Slip in a false memory that proves her love and commitment to you, e.g., when she was about to doze off, she promised she'd never leave you. You keep implanting false memories into her mind until she's completely dependent on you. Congratulations, you've successfully saved your marriage. Sounds great, right? But that's not all. you'll notice that the VCRD model is very different from conventional how to save a troubled marriage or get your ex back advice. Instead, the VCRD model is founded on something 1,000 times more powerful: mind control. With mind control, your wife doesn't have a say. She will come back to you whether she likes it or not, because in the end, she will like it. Now, some guys ask me, isn't that manipulative? Sure it is. Human beings are natural manipulators. If we didn't manipulate our environment, situations, and relationships, we'd be extinct. What's more, your wife manipulates you too. Think of all the emotional blackmail, the silent treatment, and the mind games she played on you. Well, two can play that game. Only while she manipulates you to get what she wants from you, you're manipulating her to save your marriage. Which outcome do you think is nobler? Yours is. It always has been. In the end, you just got to ask yourself, 1. Do I want to save my marriage? 2. Am I willing to do whatever it takes? If your answer to both questions is yes, then this guy just introduced you to the only solution you'll ever need. So here's what I want you to do. The next step for you is to get into the mind control mindset, and you can do that today. Simply sign up for Derek Rake's legendary online masterclass on mind control. You'll learn everything you need to know in that masterclass, especially if you want to save your marriage the quick and easy way. Here's what's going to happen. A link will now come up in the video. Click it and the registration page for Derek Rake's online masterclass comes up. There, enter your best email address because that's where your masterclass ticket will be sent. Do it. Click on the link now.